Undefeated.
Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Undefeated podcast.
The only podcast with 2 undefeated fighters, fam.
Chatting it up. Listen, we're doing this pod right now. KG's, where you at, bro? Right now.
New York, fam. I'm in New York. I just booked a room in the hotel, fam. So I just got one mad office space. And it's early. It's mad early, fam. But this is what we do, fam. When we say when we're gonna deliver the pod, we're gonna deliver the pod. Nothing's gonna get in the way. I ain't got my sound desk though. I didn't go that far with it.
It's cool.
It's the light.
I'll do the sounds with my mouth.
Go on, do one. Welcome to the Undefeated podcast, fam.
That's what you call maintaining on a budget, boy. Oh my days. Oh, bro, it's been a week. It's been a week.
It's been a mad week. Shout out to linking up with Maestro as well today. Big up to him.
Cold.
You know what I mean? That's dope. Yeah, man. So listen, we have to get into it because boxing is moving mad. Moving mad. There's so much to discuss. I think we need to get into our table tapes real quick.
Oh yeah, what's your table tape, bro? Before we move.
Man, I'm 0-0, fam. Never fought, never lost. If I did, someone gets knocked out, it's definitely not me. When we talk about again height, the height is crazy, but officially shorter than Travis, shorter than Maestro. It's a crazy stat. But again, when you talk about speed, I told you about my New Year's Eve, and I just became Barry Allen, fam. The Flash. No one saw this coming. So now I'm just getting people out of here. I'm knocking guys out so quick. I'm already sleeping before they hit the canvas. Do you know how crazy that is? You know, so I get to go home and watch them fall. That's crazy. That's how quick I am now, man. So again, I don't want to brag. It's just
understandably. I respect it.
So yeah, talk to me, man. What's your table tape?
2-0. Perfect boxing record. Think Joe Calzaghe, think Floyd Mayweather, guys like this. 50% knockout rate. Half the men that entered the ring with me sadly left on their backs. Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of wonderful things have happened. Appreciate that, bro. I'm taking a mild sabbatical from boxing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting into my John Redcorn bag. That's King of the Hill. just been taking it easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew I had a New Year's resolution to come in big, and I thought to myself last week, I was like, nah, do you know what? Nah, just gonna take it easy. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna wait for some fights to be announced before I resume my boxing career.
Yeah.
Because right now the frustration is starting to seep into my own training camp to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna juggle these feelings.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stop, let it rain down a little bit, and it will come back in next month, I'd say.
Can I just say this to you, bro? You've had a great career.
I've had a great career. No, but you know what though? The frustration with boxing is starting to peak, fam.
You shouldn't. I don't know why. I don't know.
Nah, you know what it is? I don't know what it is here. There's certain fights that they got me in a chokehold in terms of when they're gonna get made. It's taking me away from the actual wonderful things that are happening in the sport.
Yeah.
And it's making it there's this cloud just over here. And it's like it's sunny on this side. I'm like, bro, we got Eubank Smith, on the undercard. The undercard is a good undercard. We've got Yard Batabiev next week. Like, boxing is good. But at the same time, it just gets dampened when I hear, Usyk Fury negotiations are being pushed back. I'm like, oh shit. Oh.
Wait, hold on.
And then
wait. Sorry. Because I've been in transit. I'm not aware of that.
So Frank Warren is basically saying that Frank Warren and Aram have come out and basically said that they might need to renegotiate the split because they haven't had whilst they said everything was agreed, they haven't had a site offer. So realistically, they've probably just agreed the percentage between them, but they've got no venue. So now they're trying to lock in a venue. I don't think the Saudis have come forward in a way that they probably thought they would. So they're saying, well, if we go Wembley, there's going to have to be a renegotiation on the percentage split. And now Frank Warren has come out and basically said, it's not looking like it's going to happen in the same time frame. We're going to have to push it back more like April-ish and stuff like that. And I'm just like, the writing's on the wall for this nonsense to not happen. It's going
to happen.
Bruv, all I'm waiting for is this. Look, Tyson's tired of waiting. He wants to get back out there.
Wait.
And Ngannou just became available. Joyce, those two are the names.
They will avoid Joyce like the plague. If Ngannou becomes number one contender, fighting for,
Well,
if
he's
he,
out of the UFC contract now.
no, but if he becomes number one contender
Oh,
as
out
a
the blue.
Nigerian, even though I love, come on, green, white, and green. I don't have to explain to you how the Nigerian thing runs, but then, bro, he can't fight Fury next.
He'll get smoked.
No, exactly, but he can't be the next guy. But it feels like he could be the next guy. Are
He
you
could
with
be the
me?
next guy. He
That's
could
it.
be the next guy.
This is what I'm talking about. You're talking about Joe Joyce. If you're gonna overlook man, Joe Joyce has to be next. You have to
Mm.
see him. There can't be no. I'm gonna go fight this guy from the UFC because he is one of the most dangerous guys in the UFC. I don't care
We're
if
not
he's
falling
been
for that
learning.
again.
I don't care if he's been learning from Mike Tyson. You lot doing little things to set up. I thought, oh, those videos are cute, but no, now it's when it's got the veil of, oh, we're setting something up. When
Yeah.
you start to say, but what could he do in this? Bro, he's a UFC fighter. We've learned many and many a times. Jake, look how many guys Jake Paul has put in a spliff from the UFC to let us know. Yeah.
The thing
I
don't
don't,
measure up.
I don't care about your striking power. If you can't use your elbows, you're not the same man.
You're not the same.
You're not.
Listen,
You
the
can't go
the,
on
the,
that.
the MMA boxing crossover, that's dead in the water now. I don't care. At this point now, we shouldn't even disrespect boxing by letting champions face these guys.
Yeah.
It should be a case where you come over and you get into your medium level bag and literally earn a spot. Because this, after what we saw with Conor McGregor and Floyd, you say, okay, I mean, maybe that's just Conor and Floyd's a defensive genius,
Mm.
but Jake Paul is putting man away. Jake, he's doing that.
And
Let's wrap it up. Let's
they're
wrap it
talking
up.
about man that they're talking about man that have got history for striking, bro.
For bangers, yeah, big standing.
Bro. So you're telling me, so this is what you're trying to convince me. One of the pound for pound greatest of his era, yeah, is gonna go ahead and fight. Yeah. Wait, Ngannou's gonna go and fight one of the greatest pound for pound of his era in Fury. He's gonna be better than Dillian White. He's gonna be better than Chisora, and I'm telling you, he's gonna look worse than all. He's gonna look worse than all of them.
He's getting hurt. I don't think these men realize, how different boxing is. Like, and the thing is, the reason why, like, if we just look it down to just the crafts, when you're an MMA fighter, you've got to be aware of so many different levels of attack. You got to be aware of takedowns. You got to be aware of everything. So all your stance is going to be reflective of a man that's aware of a top to bottom attack. Boxers are used to working within this confined space from the waist up, and in that space, they are technical geniuses. And
Yeah,
I've never broken the word technical up like that. But
yeah,
technical geniuses. They know how to operate in that space in a masterful way that you will not be able to learn in a quick camp. I don't give a damn how well you hit pads.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't know, man. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a bit. I see where you. Because that's like, bro, what's wrong with you, Javante Davis? We're seeing that's been. It looks like it's time to
Yeah,
get.
I'm proud of that one. I'm proud of that one
So
going through.
I was like, so then when you start with this energy, I was like, oh man. But then obviously you've been looking at the situation, and you have to say to yourself, Saudi have not shown the
Interesting
interest,
theory.
or they haven't shown the interest that you expect. And I don't know if there's a situation behind the scenes. My man that should not be named in boxing because he has connections out there.
It could
So I
be
don't
that.
know.
Or
They
it could be that they don't have an interest in Fury.
No, but they might need to. He might be the one to leverage the deal, and if he's not a part of it, there's no deal. You never know what the situation is.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But
I mean, you never.
but also look at it like this though. Hearn is the only one that's gone over there a few times. He even
Mm.
went over there with Bivol. And I ran for that Bivol fight.
Yeah, he did. He did. But remember,
So I'm like, if you can get Bivol over there, them man are not clearly chasing names. I'm just like, okay, so you either, you're distancing yourself because of a reason, the guy shall not be named, or, there's a personal reason with one of the guys. Like, I don't know.
it's very weird that
It's odd.
It's very weird that they won't take an undisputed fight. That's great.
Yeah.
That
And
is,
now, the fight is even at more jeopardy because apparently, I saw somebody on Twitter say this. I don't know this for a fact, but I think Ramadan is starting around that time, So realistically, you trying to put on an event there is like, nah,
And
that's not happening.
it's,
So it's looking very Wembley-ish, and then you're gonna have to renegotiate the deal. Now, what should the splits be for Usyk and Fury?
how many belts has he got? Fury, wait. I
Fury
want
has one and the Ghost Belt, yeah, the lineal. Or I don't even know what the situation is on that because I think that's the ring belt, and that's Usyk's got
oh,
that now. Usyk's yeah, so Usyk's got the ring belt.
yeah.
He's got the rest of the belts basically. So I'm like, how far are we going with this thing? Because I don't know
60-40, 60-40 Tyson Fury.
why,
Just he's a bigger fighter.
how.
He just is like he's again,
So if the fight is valuable because it's undisputed,
yeah.
yeah. Because let's be real, that's why the fight's going to be of
And
yeah.
it's Fury.
So the value is if it's undisputed, I'm coming in with the majority of the thing to make this thing. I've got 75% of why this is going to be undisputed. You've got one, but somehow you're supposed to take more than me.
I'm Tyson Fury as well, though.
So he's going to get the same offer that AJ would have got,
No,
and that's fair.
AJ had to take that one because he lost.
No, AJ has to take that one. Yes,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is,
Of course.
Usyk, the unified champion, is going to have to take the same offer that the guy that he beat received.
But AJ got more money than Usyk in the rematch, though. And he was,
because that was arranged under the terms of the first
yeah,
contract.
because sometimes you have to realize that one, I'm AJ, like I could be AJ, who is him, and Fury is him. If that makes sense in terms of just their, not my perspective. I'm just talking about the perspective of boxing. In terms, let's say for instance, boxing could go into this space. Well, I know Usyk doesn't have that much like plans to stick around, but it could go into this era that, like the Klitschko era, where we kind of um, lost some interest. Klitschko domination era, and it's like, oh, you guys are just, while you're cool in that, you're not like a draw. Like I don't see Usyk as a major draw, even though he's achieved like loads. He's not like a super draw. But I'm talking like,
I think, you know what? If I'm being honest, I think Usyk could become a draw only because he's surrounded by guys who are quite prolific characters, or their draws themselves.
that's what I'm saying. I think the draw of Fury is the 60%, is what I'm saying.
So look at the numbers that Usyk and AJ did. Yeah, that was the only fight I think that year to go over the 1 million mark.
But that's AJ.
Whilst that's AJ, yeah, it's AJ, but AJ's had fights that have done less against other opponents. So Usyk was involved in that fight, and he won. He won those bouts, so he's got that under his resume. Whether or not, we can't say it's just AJ by himself. That's got that. Yeah, Usyk versus Wilder will do great numbers, I believe.
Definitely, I think. But then
if it's actually, I don't.
No, but then
I don't.
You have to talk and look.
It's a tricky one, actually.
Fighters, actually, because let's look at this properly. So when you say that AJ, was it number 2 that did over 1 million?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, AJ lost his belts in number 1. Is this the redemption story? Is this the
yeah. True.
I'm here to watch it. I'm gonna tune in. Not saying anything bad about Usyk, but a lot of people couldn't believe it, bro. You put your name.
But at the same time, just to say, whilst the spectacle that brought those numbers were AJ, Usyk still won under that showcase. So some people will follow him a little bit more.
Yes, I'm with you.
Like
little things happen. Little things. Well, Bivens' thing was different, and this is what I'm talking about at the end of the fight and how we remember the fight. Thingy didn't. Usyk, there's a thing about going over the top, becoming the guy. He didn't get his moment at the end of the fight because AJ took it over. So when you say after the smoke was gone and cleared, there should have been a moment where Usyk speaks and announces himself.
He did get to speak, though.
But he didn't because it was shrouded in what.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't think.
So sometimes you need that moment just to, again, you win, then you solidify it with the wicked speech, and we're now on the journey. You bring all these fans in, they start chanting for you, this, that, and the other. Everyone was watching this moment, the end of the fight.
No, do you know what? I think this. Sorry, yeah, go.
Usyk's biggest moment was surrounded with AJ controversy in terms of you. Every time I think back at that fight and think about the great win, I think, what the hell did AJ do? You literally have, and that's a shame, but the moment was stolen, and it didn't. That's how I feel about the situation. If I look back at the second fight, I think AJ grabbing the mic, Ukrainian flag rally, which is crazy, and a mad speech. Your
Thing
thoughts?
is, no, my thoughts on that are slightly different because one, what was the speech going to be that you think Usyk was going to say that was going to have that reaction? He's not a talking man like that. He's
Mhm.
very much he carries himself quite consistently in all spaces.
Yeah,
There's no that speech wasn't going to do that for him. His boxing is going to do all that stuff for him. So my thing is, whilst that thing was crazy, the AJ moment, I don't think that doesn't happen. Usyk gets on a mic and it's different today is what I'm saying. I'm like, what speech
yeah.
would you expect Usyk to
No, I
give
think
that
what
does
is,
that?
the killer is the one thing for sure that we'll say about this moment is one, we'll never know. But I think there's moments where like you can become a stronger fan of someone in how they talk about them, how they arrange, how they finish it. Like you've seen them when the gloves are off, you see them in this part, and then you see them in the speech. It's like how I can sometimes get turned off by Chris Eubank. Listen, just to bring him in, when he's like, I watch him fight. And then after it's the post-fight speech, and he's like, "Yeah, I could have had him out of here at any
Help
time."
marry up.
And it's
Yeah.
like, what? And it's like, I was with you. Just imagine, I was on board this train for a long time. So almost sometimes you see when a fighter says something nice about the other guy, they thought he pushed me to the limit, this, that, and the other. You come across and you say to yourself,
It almost squashes the beef in the fans
yeah,
and
and
in the
it
minds
brings
of the fans.
it allows me as a fan to say, you know what, I can root for you now because yes, you did fight my guy, but we're here now. And I don't think it's like boxing inheritance. Remember, I always talk about inheriting man and inheriting certain fans. Yeah. We didn't have nowhere to go because a lot of us fans, we left that moment still in the need to protect AJ. We stepped out that moment saying, because we knew what was going to happen. As soon as that thing happened, you saw all of us have this, bro. we didn't talk about the fight, and it was one of the best showings from
Um,
AJ that I've ever seen in terms of inside the ring. We didn't talk about the fight. We didn't talk about Usyk as
well,
a winner.
just to be fair to us specifically, when we say we did talk about the fight, but we
Nah,
did start. We started on the speech.
we talk. Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying this. All I'm saying is a moment overshadowed, and we can never say what would have happened next. But I just think that sometimes when fights end, there's that great moment where the fans, if everything is cool, the fans can decide how to disperse and move it because you're connected to these fighters. I believe
Yeah,
that
I
you're
think
probably connected to these fighters. But that's
I
just my
think,
thought. That's just
yeah, no, I think everybody's got a different thing. Like, say, for Conor Ben, what worked for Conor Ben after that Formella fight isn't going to work for everybody else.
yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's about you and your thing. So, my thing is, Usyk has been the same guy consistently.
Hmm.
He wasn't going to do anything spectacular after that fight. He
Mm.
was going to, I don't know, call out Fury, tribute to Ukraine. It was going to be what it was, just going to
Mm.
happen before AJ's thing. But also, my thing is like, it's on brand for Usyk to keep it on that level because we like him at that level. Usyk now coming out and being cocky, bruv, you know how British fans are don't like cocky. It's not gonna do it. Do you know what I mean? There's certain pockets and certain lines of narratives that are acceptable for different types of fighters.
It's true. It's
So
true.
with Usyk's thing, I'm like, if you suddenly came out cocky after beating AJ, you'd see a different side of the British fans. But you kept it humble and respectful despite AJ's meltdown. Oh, you won big time. Look at what
I,
Eubank Jr. won big, and Connor, they didn't even fight. It's just that Connor he got in the controversy, and Eubank made way and said, "Look, I'm still down to fight." What? British public said, "Yeah, that's right. He's done what he's supposed to do." So that's what I'm like with those type of things. There, I'm like, I don't want to get carried away on him taking it away because I'm like, I still think Usyk's story looks like how it does today.
I again, we can never
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
just
true
one of those things we can never say for guaranteed
for
what
sure.
happens.
Yeah,
And little moments, there's little great moments in boxing that you can arrive at, and you can let yourself down. That you all these moments, and we'll never. It's one of those ones where in this situation we definitely
we'll
will
never
never
know.
know. You
It's
know,
real.
just
It's
to
real.
move the thing, just to move the conversation forward. You mentioned Conor Ben, and I have found, it was Conor Ben's been on Instagram. He's been on social media, posting. I won't call them cryptic posts, but in Conor Ben's mind, he's totally innocent now. And it's funny because you got these two sides. I'll just talk about boxing from these two sides and how they're looking at it. You got the Conor Ben side that's I'm innocent, and you got the Eubank reaction to how you innocent. You know what I mean? Because this is not from a personal space. These are the two, and these are the two that are meant to fight each other. Now, I don't know where you sit in terms of hearing the information that's out there, but just to talk to the audience so they know what's going on, because you've seen some more. Because for me, I'm gonna say I sit in the pocket of the audience is like, bro, all you keep giving us is online statements, and where's the proof? Like, I'm happy, I'll rock with you and I'll apologize, even if it's one of those things where you're innocent and you've been labeled as a guy where you've been unfairly treated. I'll happily hold my hands up and say, listen, we was wrong. This is why you wait for the evidence. But I haven't seen anything. What's your take on the situation?
My thing is, like, my stance hasn't changed from the last time we spoke about it. And I've just said, I'm going to wait to see what this thing is. What is the smoking gun? Because, I know that thing, we take it to other spaces in films and stuff like that. And a guy, he's been barefaced cheating through the whole film. And the day he gets back and he's like, go through my phone then. Go through my phone then. She goes through it and finds absolute madness. It's the craziest bluff. So it's like, for me, at that point of a man saying, go through the phone then, that's not where I log out. That's not where I stop and say, nah, well, he's got to be this or he's got to be that. I'm like, all right, run it. Let's see. So that way, after that's done, you don't have anything else to say. So for me now, I'm like, with the Conor Ben thing, let's hear it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I saw an interview on his page posted it, I think Everything Boxing on Twitter. Shouts out those guys. Them guys have been posting some dope exclusive stuff still. And it was basically an interview, I think it's with Solomon. What did he say now? So he goes, is there any credence to, there being a contamination situation with VADA in regards to what Conor Ben, which would explain a lot of this stuff, that it's a contamination thing. And he was like, no comment on that. And then it was like, but as of right now, like, there's nothing stopping Conor Ben fighting. He's free to compete now. And I'm like,
Mauricio said that Conor Ben is.
See, my thing is that contamination thing. I was like, if there is any thing is with these things here, if there's any credence to it, it's gonna get treated like how it's being treated, more so than if it was rubbish. Then man will be quick to shoot that down because you're tarnishing man's name for no reason. Whereas I look at this and I'm like, there's something in this that has to stick for it to, one, take this long to get an answer, and two, have them feeling that confident. And I'm like, if this did turn out to be the craziest revelation that the thing was spiked, I don't know. But I just feel like I can't shut the case on this until we see all of that.
But okay, now just in terms of, because we learned a lot in terms of in that space when they told us about what happens in boxing, from the B sample and stuff. As soon as you're gonna fight or whatever, they take 2 samples, right? And the B sample goes straight into a safe space where it can be not uncontaminated, like away from anything. And the only time you open a B sample, you have to be present. They've done it in a way to protect the fighter, so the fighter and his team can be present, and they test it then. So let's say this is official, because yes, I can agree with the A sample getting contaminated, right? And then after it's like, oh my goodness, how do we end up here? But then after, if the B sample isn't, like, which it shouldn't be, because
the A and B sample, they're taken at the same time.
They're taken at the same time, exactly. But then I'm saying that it goes straight into like the vault or whatever you want to call it, the safety science place where you understand what I'm saying. It goes straight in there, right? So then that should be that's from the body straight into the vault. If what they say about the process is believed to be true. So that should be the one that's not contaminated. While the A sample, if they've messed around, if it's a VADA thing, and they've done it perfectly themselves, the only thing that should be contaminated is the A sample.
No, you're missing. But contaminate. There's no limits to contamination, bro. If that's the line that they're going on, there's no limits to what contamination can mean, whether it's negligence or whether it's deliberate. We don't know how this case is gone. So all we know is that there's a buzzword of contamination, and I'm just like, well, let's wait to hear what it is because it's stuck for how many months? Something is in there that's potent.
But then, how do we get to contamination cases?
Thing is, like I'm saying,
we got. I'm just saying, this is me talking as a fan of just like I'm like, okay,
got you.
I'm just looking as a fan and how most people would look at it and read it at the news and say to yourself, okay, but there's 2 contaminated cases. There's one that was higher in the first time, and then it's again. So then I'm going to say there's a super level of skullduggery that's happening from the beginning. Like they're out for this fighter, which is why him? You ask yourself certain questions. Why are they going out for him like that? If first case, and then the second one, I can understand one contamination, someone's made a mistake twice.
Yeah.
How's this happening? And for me, what I don't want to see here is, when it's one of those, everyone's being quiet, but no information's coming out, because there's certain times where it's like, it's gonna go away. You lot we'll both say something, it'll get murky and no one understands it, and we just won't explain it and we move forward. Because sometimes that strategy is taken into play where it's like, well, it's like when we heard about Glovegate or any of these things that happen. One side speaks about it and they got the greatest videos with the greatest angles. Another guy speaks about it, they got the greatest takes and the thingy. And it's like, no truth is answered in this thing. Boxing just happens to move forward and everyone's here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the thing that will probably frustrate me, because you said what you said. It's not, I want proof now. I need to see a scientific, and don't get me wrong, go on box. I'm not trying to stop you from boxing, but I want to know if we were out of line, speaking down on your name, or you know what I mean. I need to know this. We need to know where we stand in this, because we can't just be like, welcome back, Connor, without no apology, or something's got to happen, because clearly a lot's happened to this man in this process, whether good, positive, or negative, and it needs to be drawn out. And I know right now that we're never going to get those answers. It's just
but this is why I say let's wait, because we can't make definite statements. If this thing has the level of detail that it sounds like, let's wait to see it at the least.
All right, Travis,
because it's not something that's going to stay secret.
I'm going to give you I promise you. Right now, I'm just saying. Today is the what of January. Today is the 19th of January. We're gonna get to the end of the year when we're doing the award show, yeah. And to me, for £100, you got money, bro. This is real, yeah. We're not gonna know if they give us a clear. It has to be clear though, where we can say, you know what, yeah, that's the bit. I promise you, we're gonna get to the end of the year. It will never be spoken about again. It's gonna be, we've spoken about it. Everything.
Right. Cool. I'll send over my terms, my legal terms of the escrow. How I want that payment paid. The minute we get to the final app, I want that payment literally the next working day. Do you agree to my terms?
Are you agreeing to my terms?
You don't have terms. I've given you my terms.
Okay, I want my terms. All
right, let me hear your terms. Let me hear your terms.
As soon as the end of the year comes, the end of the
what day? What's the what? Okay,
I need it in 4 to 5 hours of that recording going out. 4 to 5 hours of that Monday Night Smoke. I need my £100.
Okay, so basically 4 to 5 hours after Monday Night Smoke has happened. Monday Night Smoke is at 8 o'clock, finishes at 9:30. A lot of days.
Yep.
That gives literally 2.5 hours before we're into the next working day. If we get into the next working day, that does reset the terms. And then what that does, that pushes us into my legal terms, which are 28 days, 28 working days. So just clarify those terms so I don't get confused.
Wait, I just want to clarify. So if you don't happen to pay in the 4 to 5, that will now be a breach, because obviously you got previous, and that money will be rising by 2%. That money be rising by
No,
2%
no.
a day
Listen,
until
I
the
am
day.
not running from this. What I'm saying is, if we get into the next working day around that Christmas period, we're in bank holidays, so then it resets. Was it 1.2 clause of my contract terms that pushes to 28 working days?
I don't know.
How you get your money in February? Well, you listen. You see that there, yeah? That's how legal contracts will absolutely shag you, bro. You'd be signing thinking, yeah, come do the show, I'll pay you £500. It's like, oh yeah, sick. Next day, Donny's like, yeah, so that's not coming for the next 4 months because the sponsorship money, if you go to clause 1.2, basically what they said. Anyway,
Hey, that's
yo,
funny.
Chris Eubank Jr.,
Oh,
Liam Smith this Saturday,
oh,
bro. I'm very excited for this fight still. Like,
they've done a great job.
I like what Eubank Jr. Can let's shout out Boxer still because the Sky Sports content is yo, it's up there still.
They're getting in their bag. They're getting in their bag.
They know when to play.
They're
Do you
getting
know
in
what I
their
mean?
bag. They know what they're doing is, and shout out to Ben Shalom as well, a new face in the space. And one thing that he can say he's doing is again he's keeping it entertaining, and
Yeah.
he's got it's a smart move having someone like Chris Eubank Jr. as the flagship face of the brand, because you look at it now, you think it's never going to be Joseph Parker. He just hasn't got that. He just hasn't. It's not enough. You know, while Richard Riakporhe
I just
is,
think it was. I mean, on the subject of Ben Shalom, it is poor management to let Joseph Parker go over Joe Joyce, go over to fight Joe Joyce over there, and lose before he's even fought for you.
yeah,
That was
that's
insane.
insane. That's insane. But again, when we're talking about Uncle Frank can make things happen that we never saw happening, and that's what he told. That's an experience move. He just showed you. Even when he actually had the interview with you, he spoke to you wicked on that presser. He says, "It's got nothing to do with you, mate." Remember when he was like,
He was so dismissive of Shalom. It was insane. Because you weren't even in the man said you weren't even in the email loop. It's incredible.
But then again,
But
you're
only
talking
to draw
about
man's fighter, literally as he signed him, draw him over to my team and smoke his boots. Now he's coming back as damaged goods. Donny's on the undercard, Eubank Jr.'s undercard, fighting some random cruiserweight that's been pumped up to heavyweight that no one knows, Massey. It's bad.
That's the dark arts.
So I think
Remember we talked about the dark arts of promotion of fighting. This is the dark arts of promotion, bro.
Yeah. You're getting your back. That's why I don't really go crazy over Ben Shalom. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like what Boxer have done, and I know he's involved there, but it's not just him. Like you got the Sky Sports support system, so when their content starts contenting, you're gonna benefit.
I understand that, but you have to give again. We gave Eddie Hearn all the ratings.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's not fair for me to do that. No, you're right, 100%.
Again, he's gonna have to get the credit because obviously Eddie didn't do that job on his own, and you have to have certain things at the right time. And what he does have is a fighter in because you can't. These promoters don't become great by themselves. What are you promoting? You need the fighter that pushes you over the top. And what you're talking about now is I'll just land this point. What you're talking about now is having a Eubank who is emotive. He can bring out any emotion in you that whether you're riled up, angry, laughing, he makes you feel something. And this guy's got him, and they're putting the camera on him, and he's doing the rest of the work. He's gonna make the magic. And now he's getting the right dance partners because you see Beefy, you see Smith, he's just perfect for a Eubank where Eubank will say something and he just doesn't like it.
Before we segue into those guys, let's keep it on Ben, And the reason why I say what I say about Ben is because Ben is so quiet, bro. You don't hear from Ben Shalom. He's not doing that thing of promotion where he's talked up a storm and he's created this buzz of he doesn't do that. And when he does speak, he's very timid. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real, the climate of the dark arts of promotion is side swipes. Them man are doing this and we're doing this. Those guys, like, that's how the game is going at the moment. And he's come in and he's opted out of that. So when them man are throwing dirt on his name, he's just being very like, I'm like, yeah, I mean, boxers do that. Boxers do that exact same thing. And we don't talk about them.
But the difference is, because what he's learned, because you have to be a hybrid of he has to be like a hybrid of Eddie Hearn. And while Eddie Hearn was brash, abrasive, and he got himself to the top, he's damaged it. There's a lot of relationships that he doesn't have. And it makes it harder for him to have certain fights. Because let's say there's a lot of men that don't want to do business with him. So now if I'm a student of the game, I'm not going to do it exactly Eddie's way because I don't want them to hate me. I want to do business. End of the day, I want to make fights. So you can see there's so much. Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren's relationship has mashed up the amount of fights that we get to see. Are you with me? So even though because Frank gave him a pow on that main stage, and the beef should have been born then. You know, when you say the origin story of that character arc where he's just a villain. Yeah. For some strange reason,
he didn't buy it.
He didn't buy it because he's saying, listen, there's money to be made at the table, and too many times in boxing, our promoters allow us their feelings and their relationships with each other to stop the work. And if like so, I don't know. Maybe when he becomes more seasoned in the game as a promoter, we might hear a lot more from him. But or maybe
when a new Ben Shalom comes up, he's gonna swipe that guy the hell out of here.
Maybe, but then at the moment, it's just someone that is being a bit more clever because again, there's so much money that while Eddie has done a great job and he's built up his brand is incredible, there's a lot of money left on the table that should have been made. I think if Eddie Hearn weren't as abrasive as he was while he's really good, even the signing of Javante Davis move would have been a bit more easier. But then he came into the game like, we're taking over. Boxing's never going to be, listen, the old model is done. Those dinosaurs, they're out of here. You can't come in a game like that.
No, that's true.
You can't. And again, it's like it annoyed way too many people. You know, and that's why they blocked him. And I really hope, I honestly hope that you see this part of the contamination. I hope it's not done by them lot. That'll be insane because now we have to have a deeper dive of
what do you mean them lot?
Anyhow, you know when they're talking about, let's say Conor Bennett's innocent. Let's just say, throw this out there. Let's say Conor Bennett's innocent, but it's happened from some nasty work over on that side. Why?
Oh, wait, hold on. You're saying if Frank's team were involved somehow?
I don't know who's.
Just someone else. There
was some boxing conspiracy,
and then someone spikes his thing.
The guy's the hell out of here because he's Eddie Hearn's next main guy. I hope that's not the case. But
that would be so bad.
That would be so
dark.
That is dark. But anyhow, that's why we need information. But
let's just speculate. If that happened, if I am a fighter and my promoter has done that to someone else, I would be very concerned for my own career. Because if me and you fall out, at any moment you could do me, and that would be the end.
Yeah, well, again, there's no control. Again, all you're learning right now is in everything. Because I look at this is not being. Again, this ain't even good for VADA when you break it down. Even not, just
if they're contaminating on the inside, that's insane.
Again, because I don't trust the British boxing board of control.
Oh no,
I don't trust that at all.
The way that business runs, I just feel like it's three men in an office in a small hired space. They don't answer their phone. They send dodgy statements, so you know there's no one really with the strong proofreading ability. They're just in there winging it.
What do you think about that?
Sounds all right to me.
Sounds all right. All right, don't forget the logo. Don't forget the logo.
We got new paper in.
Logo.
We got new paper in, so you can scan it on now.
Scan that logo in. We should still be using Times New Roman. Of course we should.
That's standard. Isn't it?
I think we should.
Bro.
Oh, what's this? You know, they're bringing that young guy, and he's come to shake things up, and he's like, "Look, guys, you can make this bit in bold. Watch this." How has he done that? It's genius.
There's a bit of colour in there as well. Does that print in colour?
That's you done that?
All right, let's get that in the post. You can actually email these out now. What the heck? What is going on? And imagine that's the people that create the list of banned substances. Crying out loud, man. Eubank Jr., Liam Smith. This weekend is happening, man. Bro. I watched the gloves are off, yeah. And we always say Eubank's undefeated and the gloves are off table.
Yeah.
This one might be the first draw, I don't know if there's a clear winner in this one.
You're saying that, and I'm surprised that you've gone with that. But then you're throwing this. What is the reason why you're saying that it could be a draw?
Eubank boxes very clever in these things. He's arrogant. He's got punchlines. He gets the moments. He'll be so funny with how rude, like the banter. They'll laugh, and it's one of the ones where it's like, okay, cool. He's holding position nicely. But when Liam Smith talked about their sparring that they had, there was a level of confidence that just was missing in how Eubank was dealing with that. So man was basically saying how we sparred. I creased him over with a body shot, and he blamed his elbow, the elbow pads, saying it was an elbow thing, and And I'm like, nah. I hurt him to the body, and he was like, "Did you?" I don't even remember that. And my thing is this year, I understand sometimes there's some days in our lives that we just like, we don't remember that. But when men start throwing 1-2 details at you, it comes back, innit? Like, it's never just gone, bro. I've known you for bare years, bro. There's times where you might mention something, I'm like, bro, come on, fam. You did this how I'm like, oh, yeah, vaguely, it started to come back. It's never just, nope. Do you not remember that day in time? So when he started saying, he's just like, well, you know what? I'll let you have that. If that's what happened, that sounds to me like Liam might be accurate. Go on.
Yeah, it could be. Look at the detail. Remember that day when we was gonna do was at the O2, yeah, and me and you was now we didn't want to do the cussing thing from the beginning. There was no interest from us, yeah. But then after we had the conversation backstage.
Oh snap! Yeah,
we had the conversation, and it was clear. I remember it was me, you, probably someone else. There's another comedian that was there, and we just said, "Listen, we're just gonna keep it light."
Once the show started,
we got out there, a big hook was thrown, and it was like, "Oh,
it's off, it's on, it's a fight."
Everything else said before, throw that away. We're here now. Are you with me? And it's like you can almost say you remember where you were, how it happened. Even if you can't vaguely remember the face of the.
I remember I was wearing. Yeah. I remember I was wearing. Exactly. I had a blue blazer, white jeans. I remember that.
So now you can't tell me again, because these boxers, they remember certain spars, right? You can't tell me, Eubank, that
you forgot the whole spar.
You forgot the whole spar. That's the part for me.
But then this is where it got a bit tricky, yeah? So he goes, yeah, no, I remember that. He goes, no, I kind of remember I sparred your brother and then I sparred you. And then Liam goes, don't try and make it sound like you sparred Callum and then got out of the ring and then sparred me. He goes, you sparred my brother 2 days before, then I came 2 days later. I was like, oh, that's... and then he goes, is it? No, I sparred him and then I sparred... And I was just like, you see, there's one way of looking at this, yeah? Boxers... they get hit in their head professionally, innit? I imagine their memories, there's some issues that come with that ain't advertised, yeah? So memory issues could potentially be one of those. So I don't want to be out here speaking on their situation when other fighters were like, listen, nah, it's a part of the game. But when man said, I remember sparring your brother and then I sparred you, and he's like, yeah, but that was 2 days apart. I'm thinking, he's unraveling, man. And then after, he's just like, all right, I'll just let you have it. I don't know, man.
I think you definitely increased him, though.
I think he hurt him. He must have hurt him.
I won't be surprised, though. Why would we be, again, we're not talking about...
It's Liam Smith, bro.
This is what I'm saying. It's not a bum that he's getting in the ring. Again, I know that Eubank Jr. is the favorite for this fight, like, across the board. And you know what? For boxing, you kind of want him to win. Just for boxing, you need...
It's that Conor fight. That Conor fight, that situation needs resolving.
To win. However, I don't mind seeing Liam go on a tear because this guy's in his swan song and he's in his another phase of his career. And if he
Yeah.
can get a few more years, because it's not like there's big and a strong age gap between the two of them, they're pretty much in similar spaces, you know. So listen, if he's got it, if he's found a new energy, a new thing about him, and he's gonna go into some, because there's still big fights that he can be in. You know,
Mm.
there's still good stuff that he can do in this game. I don't mind right now. I don't care who wins. I would love it to be Eubank, but my prediction is Liam. I'd love it to be Eubank. My prediction is Liam.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I'd
I,
love it
I
to be gone.
I see it going very much like the Spike Sullivan fight,
Yeah.
where he's going to ask Eubank a lot of questions, and I think Eubank might come out with the boxing he tried to do with Liam Smith, Williams,
Hmm.
and it's not going to work like how it did with Williams. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of question marks over what condition Williams showed up in for him to be getting floored by those jabs like that,
Hmm.
or it's credit to Eubank Jr. that he's got a jab that does that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Because if he starts flooring Liam Smith with that jab, then I say, you know what, you got a piston jab there. Something's happening.
Something's
It's looking good.
Yeah.
So for me, I look at it. But here's how I envision the fight. Starts out KG. Eubank tries to get into his boxing bag. Starts moving around that kind of way. But Smith is going to start tagging him and catching him, and then draw Eubank Jr. into a fight. Now, when this starts to happen, I don't think Smith is going to be able to hang with Junior. I
Mm.
think when Junior starts to go off old style, because I think that style is still there. It's just that he's never been forced. He's never been outboxed enough to have to resort to it now. He's
Hmm.
got the little KG Eubank, the Roy Jones shape. So
Yeah.
now I'm just like, once you get pushed out of that, you're going to revert to type. And I reckon the new style is going to complement that old style as well now. And I reckon it's going to be too much for Smith. I think he's going to just be too big for him, and he's going to hurt him and stop him.
Trav, I'd love that to be the case. Because for as entertainment goes, he's one of the top of the table for me when it comes down to just being that guy. There's almost a, do you know who I would really compare him to? Yeah, and this might be, I don't know if it's disrespect, but it's Broner. He has a couple Bronerisms about him that
Broner.
Broner, I swear to you.
Okay.
Broner was entertaining. I don't care what
You know, Broner's a two-weight world champ.
no, I'm talking about entertainment.
I'm joking.
Purely on entertainment. So I said it feels disrespectful because Broner still has won championships, right? But I'm talking about just the level of entertainment that Adrian Broner brought me. Yeah, his staying are still relevant in sport today. I mean, so, bro, like you were Mr. Entertainment, but you under delivered. Even though you got your belts and stuff, but we saw more for your career because we're talking about a person that really studied Mayweather and
He was right next to him as well. He's up close.
oh he was, and there was so much to like about him, even down to how he stepped in the ring, pink shorts sometimes. The guy was he was a show in himself. It's so hard to step out of the shadow of Mayweather. And we're talking about Mayweather that's still semi-active. But that's how good this guy was to be known. That's AB, bro. This is, you know what I mean? And I believe that there's something in well, I believe in this phase of Eubank being liked and stuff, he could really get into that bag where while he's entertaining us and giving us all of this stuff, he's winning these fights and he can, as you said, you always want to see him wear that winner belt and what that looks like. Him as a true champion, him as a recognized champion.
It's true.
So,
It's an interesting one, man, because if he starts to put things together, like we always feel like, it's in him, or maybe, I don't know how everybody feels like that. I feel like it's in him somewhere to put this together one day and get it right. Do you know what I mean? And, nick a belt from someone. Like, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to look. Yeah, I don't know who it's going to come from, but I want to see that reality play out. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it'd be a nice end. But you know what's quite interesting as well? There's like the behind the scenes stuff. It's quite a touching thing about him and his brother. Do you know what I'm saying? Going through that stuff. And I just feel like I still remember that interview with Stephen Bartlett where he spoke about, just certain other things, elements of his personality. And I'm seeing these things start to play out. It's very much ringing true when he starts talking about, listen, I'm not taking anything for granted. And you can see now there's an urgency now that he's never really had before. Where it's like Conor Ben fight, let's go. All right, Liam Smith, let's go. After that, let's go. Like it's a different level now. He's not trying to sit still for another year and just wait. So I kind of like a lot of what I'm seeing from Eubank Jr. in this era.
Yeah.
So I'm quite excited for him to win this and move forward and see what's next.
And please believe, at some point, we're going to see a character that we didn't expect. And Billy Joe Saunders, will listen.
That rivalry.
He'll be reintroduced because he's sitting down, he's watching. Billy Joe is watching, and he's probably thinking to himself, "What the hell's going on?"
I'll still beat him.
And again, that's that. There's so many fights for Conor after. So not for Conor, for Eubank after this moment. Good fights, entertaining fights, capture people fights. And I'm here to see it again. Credit to you as a scout, as a boxing scout. You're talking about that Salt Pappy guy, and you're like, listen, he can fight. Well, Eddie Hearn sees what you see, bro. So Eddie Hearn, and you got Travis. You know what I mean? You got the what's your production? Because you had that mad computer production. Anyway, Eddie Hearn wants to sign Salt Pappy. He wants to. Yeah. He said, I want to make him, I think he's a good fighter. And he
can fight.
He could be a problem.
Listen, that YouTuber crossover of the fan base into pro fighting.
Yeah.
That could be nuts, but I think Salt Pappy can really throw hands.
That's what he said. He really sees him, and he'd like to make him pro. He'd like to go see, like, he sees him as, and well, this is what people are saying as well. But again, Eddie Hearn reached out to him. He said, "I appreciate it." So there's conversations there. So just keep your eye on that one. With
that's Eddie. A fascinating one, because it's one of them things where you watch, a fighting in that space, which is essentially white collar boxing, right? And you see those guys, they fight over there in that space, and you think, what is that crossover like? And I think a lot of time, when say like a Salt Pappy pops up, you look at the guys he's fighting and you say, oh yeah, but you put him in with pros and and he'll get knocked out. But some guys come into professional boxing very green, a lot greener than that. And they put them in with guys who, the journeymen, the guys who would teach them and and then they do it that way. And that's how it happens for pros. It's gonna happen the same way, I think. You're not gonna struggle to get him an easy touch here, get him to 8-0, 9-0. And then after that, it's like, okay, cool. Now we're going to start to increase the levels slightly. If he's being managed and his career is looked after, I think people are going to start looking at other ways to do things. And I think that's a sign of the times right now. When you look at, guys who would conventionally get on TV and have success that way versus today, there's other ways of doing things. Bro. So exactly. So you look at the boxing space now. That. This is what is happening where we're going to see a real talent come up through this YouTube rank, come over, grab a belt, and it's like, wait, he's got a Commonwealth, he's got or a Southern area, sorry, and it's like he's got a British, and with
an audience.
Then what's going to happen? He's making money every single step of his career as it progresses.
Audience locked in. Trust me, because the route changes. Like I love looking at football as football commentary as a starter piece, right? And if you look at it, it started with fans at the end of games, just giving their opinion. Bro, football fans are doing tactical breakdowns. They're doing, and I've got the touch screens. They're doing
the green screen.
No, football fans are doing a madness. These are fans. But then, and it's
let's look at us. We sat down on the zone with Tony Bellew, and I said to Tony Bellew, "You could have beaten Usyk, fam. You was at the end of your career, bro." And he's sitting there, and after a while, he started to hear it, and he's like, "Bro, we're fans."
We're fans. No. Even my moment of that is always going to be Lennox Lewis, and sitting there and chatting to Lennox Lewis, and I'm saying. In my head, I'm like, I shouldn't be talking to you right now. I know how mad this looks. I understand how, bro, when you, even funny, this is just a funny little conversation, but when New Year's come and you think of some of the stuff you've achieved, and you're like,
it's man.
How? Like, how did you do that, bro? Like, when
Brother.
did this, it's the craziest, greatest moment, and like a lot, and that's what I'm saying. The game has changed, even down to when you talk about the route has changed for everyone. Like I saw the other day, I saw something. I saw a post that October Red hit out, and she said, "Raw, AJ, I'd love to sit down with you one day, and have an interview and stuff." And I was thinking, that could happen.
That should happen, yeah.
Literally, I was, bro. I saw the thing and I go, yeah, that should happen at some point.
Same. I
You
was
know what I
thinking.
mean?
I definitely would like to see that.
This is, but
And
you,
and that's how real stuff can happen certain times. You go from that tweet, you get passed from one guy to one guy. It's like, yo, she's cool still. Boom.
and it happens. And I go, but there was a little moment for me. I was like, oh, that could happen. I didn't even see that as a far fetched thing. And before you would say to yourself, that's something that would be laughable. How many years ago? But then there's something that's happened in the space of boxing where people it's getting closer. Things are getting closer. The rules are changing, and everyone has to almost work a new hybrid way
Because
in the
what it
new
is,
scale of boxing, whatever it is. Like,
what it is, right? In most sports, there's a route that's the traditional route that, in some people's mind, it's not accessible to them. So they'll rule out the possibility now. And for someone to feel like that about boxing, it's a big reach because boxing traditionally does open its doors to anyone. Like you walk in to a gym, it's
not really.
it's an unconventional family. Well, my experience of that has been that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like me, walking into the gym in Shadwell. Do you know what I mean? That's where I did a lot of my training at the ABC gym, and feeling very much like, rah, maybe I don't belong here. And then suddenly this turns into your family. Like it happens very
Can
quick.
I give you some pushback on it?
But go on, yeah, sure.
So then, while I want to agree, the power construct is still the same. So I can come in as a fighter and I'm a fighter, but then when you talk about just trainers and promoters, it doesn't look the same. It
Oh
doesn't
yeah, yeah.
carry
The
over.
roots,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
still when you talk about who's running it,
No, but
it's
what I mean is not necessarily the further up bits. I just more mean that first touch
oh
point. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
listen, the door's open
That's
because
what I mean.
bro, if you come in and you're good, you actually help me. So I'm cool. Do you know what
But
I'm
then,
saying?
but then you look at it from the outside. If you don't know where to go, who to see, it can look like, how do I get into this space? Now
Okay,
you
I
look at kids today who are growing up, and their heroes are, or people who they really are attached to their journeys, are YouTubers. So
yeah.
now they're watching these guys have a step-by-step way of how they've done things, and now it's like, well, maybe I don't want to aspire to fight on a matchroom card. Maybe I want to fight on a Misfits card. So now they're at that space and they're in these spaces, and now it's like, oh, this guy trains here, and oh, KSI trains at this gym. I'm gonna go to that gym, and it's a whole new perspective to us. We would look at it and be like, how the hell is that where you'd be trying to? That's your value system. That's where you want to subscribe. But yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's and
Absolutely.
it's. I don't know. I just feel like what's happened is obviously there's a lot of pushback about YouTube boxing, but I think this thing is going to evolve at a faster rate
It's
than
evolving.
boxing is.
It's evolving, bro. It's evolving. I couldn't believe the sound of that. Whatever KSI was fighting that last time, I couldn't believe it.
From the
On the
beginning.
undercard,
It makes no sense because you watch it and straight away you're involved because the energy grabs you. It doesn't let you just go. The
yeah.
boxing could be trash, but everything is at work. And I'm like, do you know what?
It's
Can't
huge.
even fault these guys.
And now you're getting a lot of celebrities or a lot of big name influencers and people
Bruv,
that
Emma Bunton and Holly Willoughby was at the fight talking about, yeah, I'm calling out Emma Bunton, the Spice Girl, just banter. I'm like, that's because you mean to tell me celebrities are saying, I'll go down there and watch because their kids want to
you
go.
have to go and you go where the money is. You know what I mean? That's now you have to play the game. You go where the money is and you go with it because that's you now talk. You know that TikTok generation, that the youngster generation, that other generation,
Yeah.
bro. You have to engage them. Do you know what I mean? And you have to be. You want to almost hold some relevance in their spaces. So these guys are not stupid. You have to make a business move and say, well, if the business is changing, at least we can say we were there. When we enjoyed that night together. You know what I mean? Like
That's
so,
right.
and again, so it's like I remember when remember that term mumble rap came up.
Yeah.
And people are laughing at mumble rappers, bro. They don't even call it mumble rap no more. That's rap.
It's
That's
just rap. They've taken it over. It's so true.
This is their thing.
The Lils.
The
The
Lil-
Lils.
The
Those
Lil-
guys are the guys now.
They're the guys. They're the guys. You know what I mean? And one of the Lils that came in was, again, Lil Uzi. Yeah? Bro, when I tell you that, he's like the top of the team.
Yeah, it's mad.
I still don't listen to him. No,
Say, yeah, no disrespect. It's just I just don't. It don't hit my playlist, but it don't matter. It doesn't matter what happens.
It does not matter. That is selling out places where our rappers, you know, our guys will be Dave East.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of things. You know what's bad? I'm a huge Dave East fan. Like I'm a big Dave East fan. I saw somebody on Twitter, some young brother. He tweeted, he goes, "Dave East makes music for guys that work in the Amazon warehouse overnight." And I was like, "Raw, Dave East, that's my guy." That's what man I'm saying out there. And I'm just like, well, the new generation is the new generation, boy. That's the whole soundtrack to a lot of our holidays, fam. I'm like, raw, that's okay.
Oh man. All right, listen. Anyway, people, this has been a dope ep, man. Yeah, I love them every single time. Listen, Trav, I'm not gonna lie, that British Boxer Border Control thing, that had me. No one should be laughing that much at 6 o'clock. Like they're gonna think I'm a crackhead in this hotel.
He's like, Gary, you know we ain't got to send letters anymore. Yeah, he's just signed us up to this fee. It's free. Yeah, you just put it in there, and it just basically. Oh.
So when you print this, that's in colour.
Yeah, well, I'm still gonna send letters, but that sounds way too good to be true. No, I'm done.
All right, listen,
guys. Please, there'll be a watch along on Saturday for the Eubank Jr. Liam Smith fight. So yeah, tune in. Do you know what I mean? I'll be there. You gonna be around for that, bro? Or you?
I'll be in the chat. No, I'll be in the chat.
All right, come. No worries.
Right. See you later.
Bro.
All right, peace. Till next time. We're gone.
Let's do another. Yo, people, thanks for watching the Undefeated podcast. Make sure you
like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and all that good stuff, man. This is the place to be.